Hey traders, let's talk about balancing how to not overestimate the ability or underestimate the ability as a trader. So this is quite an interesting topic. It's very similar to self-confidence. Is like finding the sweet spot, not being overly confident, but not having a lack of self-confidence. This is pretty much a similar topic. You see, many traders turn full-time very quick because they think I have, because they overestimated their ability to trade well and especially to maintain a stable um, emotion and also a stable consistency. But the main thing is full-time trading is not really just about um, it's not must. And oftentimes there are traders who are extremely profitable, but they choose not to go full time. I've really seen some traders who are so good at what they're doing, but they just don't feel like going full time because they don't feel the need to do that. And I tend to see a lot of people, especially traders who are anywhere between 1 to 3 years, they jump full time too quick, being overly confident on the ability, and that's when they start having really high expectation. And having high expectation is good. Don't get me wrong. As a trader, confidence is the number one key because that will allow you to execute your plan, execute your strategy in a consistent manner without, any sort of hesitation. But if you overestimate ability and you jump full time too quick, or you start overspending, increasing your quality of living, improving the quality of your lifestyle, that's when things gets a bit ugly. Because you see, if you're a trader who just barely found consistency, let's say you made 50K, and making 50K in a month or making 50K in half a year, let's say you make 10K, 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 8K, 5K, 10K, whatever, does not necessarily mean you can stay so highly profitable forever. And if let's say you just judged based on this short-term outcome and say, hey, I have 3 months of consistency, let me straight go full-time. And going full-time is not a big deal. To me, I went full-time when I had nothing. The real problem comes when you started increasing your quality of your lifestyle, your expenses, and you straight jump to full-time. That's when you have a short of cash flow. Because trading, no matter how consistent you are, no one will ever tell you I can consistently make 10% a month. No one can ever do that. If someone tell you I can hit that positive 10% balance every single month, he must be lying or he must be fantasizing. It's impossible. So the way I structure my profitability is okay, I split them into a 12 months period, sometimes into a quarterly, sort of a quarterly method. So as long as every single year I have 6 to 8 profitable months, and I have, let's say, and as long as I have 6 to 8 profitable months, I don't mind having 2 3 months where everything goes flat, or having 2 3 months where I'm small negative, because I know in the long run, as long as I'm able to maintain this kind of consistency, as long as I don't do stupid, silly decisions, make get myself into a big drawdown, I'll always come out as a winner. I'll always make money. But if you just started trading and you jump straight to full time so quick, you start buying the Gucci bag, you know, that LV wallet, the big Dior LV shirt, that's when everything starts to get a bit ugly when your trading results fail to meet your expectation. Because you cannot, living below your mean is extremely important. When you start living above your mean, that's when you are just making money to chase your lifestyle. Instead of making money, keeping it, you are making money, throwing it into paying credit card bill, right? So you don't want that to happen. But I also don't want any of you, back to the topic, to underestimate the ability. I also see a lot of traders tend to hesitate too much. They say, I want to go full time. I need to have a 3 years consistency. You don't need to have that much of a track record in order to go full time. Going full time, as long as you're employing your personal capital, it is up to your own situation. It is up to your own decision to decide when to go full time. And I believe if you see yourself, the most important thing is still to ensure you don't see big reds. You don't say, oh, in 1 month you lose 50%, and that's fucked. If you have that situation happen, if you're going full time, you might have to find a job, and you really wouldn't want that to happen. Why? Because that happened to me in the past. In the past, when I was not too consistent yet, I jumped full time trading when I had zero consistency. I was a full time gambler. I always talk about this joke in our trade club, and I say, hey, back then I was a full time gambler. So I went full time. I remember I had about 12,000 Aussie dollars saved up. I lost every single penny. Go back to job, get into debt, borrow money from friends, and eventually still lost all of them. And that was when I realized I was not able to trade full time. And I go back, saved up again. Then I spent a lot of money on education. Then I spent a lot of time on doing the proper work, the back test, the forward test, the journaling, the reviewing, the fine tuning, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually, when I started finding consistency, then that's when I really decided to go full time trading. So, again, you don't need to have a crazy track record to go full time, especially if you're employing your personal capital, you're trading your own money, right? If you're seeking for investors fund, then you probably need to have a long track record, probably 2 to 3 years minimum. But if you're trading your personal money, that's fine. No one's really restricting you, but at least you see 1 year of consistency. So, how do I define consistency? It is when you don't have, like I said, big reds. Big reds is a big no-no. If you see a big reds in your P&L or in your equity, let's say you have a position that goes positive 20%. Let's say you're on a 10K account, it goes to 15K, and it drops straight to net and just drops straight to 5K. That's not acceptable. You're just gambling your money. If you see consistency as in your equity curve goes like this, small drawdown, flat month, increment, flat, small drawdown, then I believe it's just a matter of time where you then have to really think about how can you scale up your capital, whether if it's through online prop firms like FTMO, 5%ers, or whatever, or I don't know. The last thing that you ever want to do is actually seeking for investors fund, to me, especially if any of you are thinking about finding funds from your friends, your relative, your parents. Please be extra careful, because I've coached many traders in the past, at least more than 10, where they took money from their parents, took money from loans, took money from friends, siblings, and it got really ugly. The worst one, we had one situation where he took money from the uncle or something. He took about 25K and he lost, more than 50% within a month. And when it comes to keeping up with your promise, when it comes to you providing false expectation to your investor, that's dangerous. You're killing yourself. The most expensive ticket in life is your reputation, is your integrity. Once you ruin your reputation, your integrity, you can be prepared to say goodbye, because no one will ever lend you a helping hand. And that is something that I care the most. Whether if it's me as a trader, or whether if it's me teaching people, or whether if it's me becoming the leader of 450 traders right now, I always keep my promise. I always keep my words. If I say something, I do it. If I can't do it, I won't promise it. But I'll still do my very best every single day. And again, back to it, don't underestimate your ability. So if you already see some consistency, don't hesitate too much. Go for it. All right, as long as you're able to find that balance, that stable increment, you're good to go. If you are having the big swing on your equity, don't overestimate the ability. Don't make a big payout, 20K, see so much this kind of thing happened, make 20K payouts. You start doing silly things. You start fly business class. You start, you no longer walk into, you no longer park in the underground basement. You start parking at the valet. You start buying a Mercedes, a BMW, a Porsche. You don't no longer wear Uniqlo, H&M, Zara. You start wearing Louis Vuitton. You start wearing Dior. That's when things might get a bit ugly. Not all of you. I truly don't wish any of that happen to any of you. But I'm just here saying, don't overestimate your ability, because underestimating ability, that means you are still able to, pick up things by finding proper, by having a proper skill up plan. But once you start overestimating yourself, that expectation, once it's set high, is very hard to be adjusted back to the correct amount. So don't live above your mean. Don't do silly things. You'll be all right. To me, full-time trading is all about cash flow. Full-time trading is about having that financial security. So once you start becoming profitable, you need to keep some to yourself for the rainy days. So if anything happen, you have to back up. All right. Although I'm a big promoter of no plan B, but if you're alone, that's fine. But if you have family, you have kids, how? Are they going to suffer with you? It can't be possible, right? So that's pretty much it for the video. I hope some of you are able to be enlightened through my words. And yeah, that's it. Uh, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share it with your fellow traders, your friends who are looking to become full-time trader, or you feel like uh, they are underestimating their ability, or if you're looking for a strong trading community where you can work together, thrive together, achieve high level results together, welcome to the 1%ers Trade Club. So that's it. Talk to you next time. Bye bye. So in case you're wondering, I'm at Vienna right now, Austria. We'll be going to Hallstatt. We'll be going to Munich, Germany, and yeah, travel to 7 countries this year, which is a bit crazy. Anyway, hope you all achieve whatever goals you have this year. So we're in July right now. 4 to 5 more months to go. So you all can do it. I'm rooting from afar. Bye bye.